shine. 50 empty beer cans started at 9. We do this all the time, don't worry, it's fine. It's a weekend in the woods and the sun's on shine. I've been working like a dog and I need a little slow down. So we heading southbound for a little hold down. Beer on ice up big in the ground, we got enough to go round. So bring it on down, get out of that town, I'll break them country clothes out. Cut off jeans, cut off tees, flatbed Yodas, top off Jeeps, drop off Greeks. We can meet back at the barn dance, cheek to cheek, swinging vines, homemade wine, clear moonshine and smoke. It's about that time we all unwind, so free your mind, let's roll. Ooh yeah, we cool down with a few brews. Bonfire to fight off the night, dude. Moonlight to shine bright, a few tunes. My mind's right, start rapping, call me Two Spoons. Lucky in Kentucky with my crew in the country. The view is so beautiful, we just smile a country mile. Lucky in Kentucky with my crew in the country. The view is so beautiful, we just smile a country mile. I'm a hard-working man, but man, sometimes you gotta stop working. I need to be in the harmony of 1,000 crickets chirping. On the bank where the sun is sinking, 50 frogs burping. Mother Nature is the queen here, far from urban, except for when the girls are upside down twerking. I'm not making this up, been there, seen and done it. We all need an escape when life seems redundant. So I invite you to the scenic scene of green abundance, breathing clean air, free of care, free as a creek is running. Ooh yeah, we cool down with a few brews. Bonfire to fight off the night, dude. Moonlight to shine bright, a few tunes. My mind's right, start rapping, call me Two Spoons. Lucky in Kentucky with my crew in the country. The view is so beautiful. Welcome everybody, another episode of Lucky Kentucky Live. This is episode 9. And we have a special guest today. Well, before I introduce my guest, I'm going to go ahead and say that Lucky Kentucky Live is brought to you by Lucky Kentucky Barbecue Catering Company. So if you have any catering, call us for any catering you need got coming up. Any event you got, we'll do it. And also brought to you by Frog Brothers Production. We got Dusty and KK behind the scenes over here. Y'all say hi. Hi. Hey, girl. Hi. And then our special guest today is none other than Stone Cold Mo, Marty Petrozzi. Also, I refer to him as my dad. I love you, Dad.
And you know what? This is my favorite son.
I'm his only son.
But that whole Stone Cold Mo thing, that goes back. Yeah, because I haven't heard that one. I've been called a lot of things, but
that was before Coach Mo.
Yeah.
Stone Cold Mo was
Stone Cold, yeah.
That was when Stone Cold was big and bad back in the day. So a little backstory so everybody knows about my family there. I've already had my little sister on, Andrea. But I have 3 sisters. 2 older, 1 younger. And then we've had a ton of beagles throughout the years. Those of you who know my family well enough, you know that we lost my mom this past year. She's smiling down on us tonight. But we had a pretty awesome life. Very blessed to be able to call them parents, and I think people can see it. I know that people see it in our faces.
You think we look a little bit alike?
I've been walked up to at Dickman's like too. 3 different times. People have walked up to me. I have no clue who they are. Never seen them in my life, and they'll be like, "You Marty Petrozzi's son? You got to be Marty's son." And then they'll hear me talk or laugh and be like, "You're definitely Marty Petrozzi's son."
Well, you know, years ago, it was kind of a flip thing. It was always, they come up to him and say, "Oh, are you Marty's son?" Now that I'm not out and about like as much as I used to, if I do show up somewhere, they're like, "Are you Joe's dad?" They don't know my name. Now that instead of Marty, now it's like, is Joe's dad? Like, what made you think that? You guys look a little bit. I'm like, you know what? I know him. I just met him yesterday.
I'm surprised you didn't tell him you were my older brother.
That happened.
That ain't my dad. It's my brother, man.
I wish they'd believe that.
And so I'm gonna start it off right quick with the biggest question that I have for the entire show. So I got 3 sisters. Me and 3 sisters. Who's your favorite? No, I'm just kidding. Don't answer that. Your dogs.
Yeah, you know what? I learned a long time ago that even if you do have a special or a favorite, keep it to yourself. Don't create that problem. So no, I love you all.
I thought your answer was going to be the Beagles.
No, it ain't the dogs, although I do enjoy them, but
So we've had Beagles through my entire life. He had Beagles way before I was even around. But so we grew up with Beagles, rabbit hunting. They were outdoor dogs. We never really had an indoor dog at the house. Actually, never had an indoor dog at the house. But we've always had multiple dogs, mostly Beagles. We went through a Basset spell there for a minute where
yeah, we tried a little experiment. We
didn't go so well.
We picked up some Basset hounds, and I was going to cross them with my best Beagle, and threw some beautiful pups. These things, they were gorgeous, and I sold them pretty quickly. I kept a couple of them, but the experiment didn't work out the way I was hoping. They were good-looking dogs, but they just weren't what you wanted out of a hunting dog, a rabbit dog. They were a little too laid back and kind of slow, and so I went back to raising Beagles, which my first love, and you know this, Joe, had always been basketball. I was a basketball nut. I was a gym rat. Basketball for me became beyond a passion. It was almost an obsession. But I always kind of that second tier was hunting, whether it was rabbit hunting, deer hunting, quail hunting. I loved being in the field, fishing also, anything outdoors. So when I stepped away from basketball and stopped coaching, the rabbit hunting and clay bird shooting kind of filled that void that I'm passionate about it, but I'm not obsessed with it like I was basketball. Basketball really kind of dominated all of our lives for a while.
Well, and I inherited that, all of that, everything you just said, I inherited that from you.
Yeah, you did.
My basketball was my first love, and then, obviously I was shadowing you around. So everything you did, it's like that country song. I just want to be like him type of thing.
You know, that reminds me one time that we were up in the backyard on the basketball court, and gosh, you must have been in the 4th grade, 5th grade, whatever, but just starting to get competitive and develop some skills in basketball. And you came up to him and you said, "Dad, one of these days, I want to be as good as you." Do you remember my response?
I want you to be better than me.
Yeah. I said, "Joe, that's not good enough.
Yeah.
I want you to be better than me." And I wanted
and you told me that multiple times.
Yeah. And I try to emphasize the fact that not just on the court or on the field, I wanted you to one up me on everything in life, as a dad, as a husband. And I can say that you did pretty damn good.
I was taught the right way. That's why.
But yeah, I remember that conversation.
Fewer kids can say that these days. So I know how blessed I am for it. So that's between basketball, hunting, as a kid, football, baseball, which is funny because the basketball love that we both share. I don't remember ever you really being the head basketball coach because there was always somebody in place at the school I was playing at, like St. Paul. It was Pat Green and Shane. And that's the earliest I recall playing for a team. But every other thing I ever did, you were the coach.
Yeah.
Baseball and football and growing up.
And when you were younger, before Pat and those fellas, you got on that traveling team.
Junior
before
Pro
that,
it was called back then.
Yeah. But before you got to that point where it was getting pretty competitive, more or less the instructional stuff, I was your head coach, and we played in a league at Lloyd, and we played at R.A. Jones, but you were small, and obviously I didn't make it much of an impression as a head coach if you don't remember me doing it.
Well, you were the head coach for the entirety of all 6 years of Pee Wee football, and even longer
for baseball.
So that obviously kind of trumps the memory part of how long you were doing it.
And those are great memories. I mean, that's one of those things that to see all of you guys. I mean, your sisters were all athletes also, as was your mother. Your mother was a great athlete. And so it was great to see how you guys progressed and went from one stage to another and became competitors. and that was very gratifying.
There's a tough question within that I want to ask. Who do you think we got more of our athleticism from? Your mom.
Me. God love you, but
She was a hell of an athlete.
she was a great
She
athlete.
was a hell of an athlete.
You know what? And I don't know that I was a better athlete. And this is something I've always believed in, even going back into grade school and stuff when I was starting to kind of get competitive. You can overcome athleticism and physical gifts with your competitive attitude and positive attitude. And I always was very competitive and
Just a will to want.
yeah. And so
I do it.
I knew how I had to outwork other people that were bigger than me or faster than me. And I always try to instill that in all of you guys that, you can be fast, you can jump, but if you don't have the will to win and the hatred to lose, you're just another athlete.
But you were a great coach, and not only did you coach me and all that stuff through my childhood, but after we all kind of grew, you continued coaching. You coached at Notre Dame Academy for girls basketball.
Yeah.
Then you helped Amy out. My older sister Amy was the coach at Notre Dame, and then she got the head coaching job at St. Henry. And I thought you went there for a year or two to help her.
Yeah, so that was an interesting thing there. So Amy left Notre Dame and actually was at Boone County teaching, and she was helping out with the volleyball team. And St. Henry's basketball situation opened up, and the great Nell Fuchs told the folks at St. Henry's, like, get Amy. And so Amy took over the program at St. Henry's. So in that next year, I was still at Notre Dame at the time. Andrea was an eighth grader. And so I was kind of pushing for Andrea to come to Notre Dame.
And this is when Cheryl Darple was the coach at
Cheryl
Notre Dame.
Darple was the head coach. And so I was pushing for Andrea to come to Notre Dame. Of course, Amy was wanting her to come to St. Henry's and coach her. And as a coach, I may have been good, but as a recruiter, I lost that battle. So Andrea ended up going to St. Henry's. So she's starting varsity or playing a lot of varsity if she wasn't starting as a freshman. I was still coaching at Notre Dame, and so I was missing some of those games.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up leaving Notre Dame strictly because I wanted to see her play. I mean, I got to see all of you guys play in high school.
I didn't play a whole lot, so you didn't miss a whole. Yeah, you didn't have a lot to miss with me.
Well, I did. I mean, anything you guys did, it didn't matter how much or whether you started or finished it. It was something I wanted to be a part of and see. And so I left Notre Dame to just be a parent and sit in the stands and watch Andrea play and Amy coach. Well, at the end of that freshman season, Amy had had enough, and she was going to step out. And that's when they brought in Jeff Hands, who, an amazing guy, is currently the head coach at NKU. But while he was the head coach at St. Henry's, I'm sitting in the stands watching. And after summer ball, he came up and he's like, I need you to get on the bench with me over there. And I said, Coach, I think I'd really love to work with you. I said, but I'm not going to shove this down my daughter's throat. You talk to Andrea and make sure that she's cool with me being on staff. And now instead of being the dad, I'm a coach. And I'm not being a dad is going to be separate from being a coach. And so he asked Andrea the next day at school, and Andrea's like, oh my God, if he will do it, get him. So that made me feel pretty good. And
Did you make her run?
But you know what? She, just like all of you guys, she had the determination and that competitive spirit that may not have been the fastest, whatever. She worked. You worked your ass off. Michelle, incredible worker, Amy. So, yeah, I didn't give her any special treatment, but she was a competitor. So I stayed there at St. Henry's for a couple of years. We ended up winning the district. Andrea's junior year, we beat Boone County in the district finals. First time St. Henry won a district in the girls.
And Nell Fuchs was still there, right?
Nell Fuchs was
He
still
beat
there, and
South
that's probably the first time they've ever beaten Boone County. I mean, Nell Fuchs put together some incredible ball teams.
Yeah. With her heel stomping.
Well, and she knew she had players, but she knew how to coach them. She was quite a story herself. But anyway, so when Andrea stopped playing, Jeff Hands took a job at No, actually, he went to Lexington Catholic
Before he went to Thomas More.
before he went to Thomas More.
But then when he went to Thomas More,
So while he was at Lexington Catholic, a fellow named Brian Neal came into Thomas More, and he was looking for an assistant. Him and Jeff worked together at Northern for the great Nancy Winston. And Jeff said, you need to call Coach Mo and get him on the bench with you. So I ended up coaching at Thomas More for a couple of years with Brian Neal.
I remember that now.
And then it wasn't tough because it was a compliment and I treasured it. But after a couple of years at Thomas More, and I've got a beautiful ring where we went to the Elite Eight in the NCAA tournament. I'm not a big bling bling guy, you know that. But that was one that
he is. Yeah, he's calling him for you.
I never did have the Mr. T starter kit or nothing, but I've still got that ring, and it reminds me of what a special time it was to be a part of something like that, to get to the Elite Eight. Well, at that point in time, Coach Dan Tiemann was leaving Cub Calf mostly for health reasons, and they wanted a varsity assistant. So, again, so many great people here in Northern Kentucky who are truly sports legends. We've touched on Coach Nell Fuchs. We've coached on Jeff Hands, Brian Neal, Nancy Winston.
And then you ended up going to...
And I ended up going to Cub Calf and coaching with the incomparable Mr. Mike Listerman, who is another legend.
Yeah.
Northern Kentucky Hall of Famer, Cub Calf Hall of Fame. I mean, the guy's one of the classiest acts you'll ever meet.
And Mike, I'm still, if you ever get to watch this, I'm still using that log splitter I bought from you, 6-7 years ago?
Yeah. More than that, probably close to 10.
It stays pretty active.
Yeah. But no, so I've really been fortunate over the course of 20-something years to have worked with and for and even coached against and competed against some of the great coaches here in Northern Kentucky. And the list just goes on. I mean, I coached with the great Kes Murphy, to my knowledge, the only 9th region coach in women's basketball to win a state tournament. I mean, that's a huge accomplishment to win the 9th region. Coach Murphy went down and won the state. It's well-known public knowledge that he took the job then? Oh, well, that kind of
allowed to say that?
Yeah, it's a done deal.
Kez is at St. Henry now.
Yeah, so
which is with our buddy Tim Sullivan as the boys coach, and that's a guy that
another classic.
Yeah, and that's a guy that when he went to Cooper originally, and you were done at Cub Calf, and you were just hunting and not doing coaching, I'm like, man, I bet Tim would love to have you on the staff. You're just kind of like, I don't know if I'm ready. I never even said anything to Timmy about it because you weren't, you never took it to heart. But
well,
Port, you can talk to me. It's called Lucky Kentucky Live. Let's have a conversation. What? Were we out of Port? No, what's out there is what we had. So if we went through it, it's sold out. We got chicken. We got chicken. Yeah, it's called Lucky Kentucky Live for a reason. The interaction is fun. So apparently we had it last week. I think it was shitty weather last week. It was the last day of school for high school kids, for all kids around here. Memorial Day weekend. So we knew we weren't going to do anything, but I think we sold like 12 meals last week. So I came into this week like, all right, it ain't going to be as bad as last week, but we had probably 4 or 5 people come in and get, 7-8 meals at a time. So yeah, we're already running short. So if anybody's out there watching, ever want to come by on Tuesday, come early because this can happen. It's a good thing, but a bad thing.
It's all good.
Yeah, it's all good.
All good.
The food's good. That's why it's selling out. to get here and try it out. You call me for catering, even better. But yeah, that never panned out with Timmy at Cooper or none of that. But you ended up after Cub Cath, you were done after that, right? Like that was
Right. Yeah.
it ran
And I
its
think
gamut.
what happened was when we left Cub Calf, I didn't really know that I was ready to step away because I still loved it, but I decided to just take off a year to just step away. And during that time, I'd go back and watch some games. I still to this day follow it religiously. Ninth Region basketball, state basketball, baseball. I'm still engaged, but after a year of being away from it, I scratched my head and I was like, how in the hell did I have the time to coach? And I was coaching while you guys were still young. To be a dad, a husband,
Not
and
to
work.
mention a full-time job.
Yeah, and it's like, this is kind of nice. I don't have a schedule. I can go do whatever I want to do. And so I did miss it a little bit, but I think it was just time. I think everybody gets to a point or a stage in their life where it's like, you know what? I'm just ready for that change. And I was, and I don't regret it, but I'll never regret all the friendships and the networking that were created through those 20 something years of coaching.
So to switch it up a little bit, I think everybody that knows us knows how passionate we are about basketball, and I think we could probably sit here and talk about that. But so that we can cover a couple topics, I'm gonna shuffle along. We talked about before you came on that I was like, I didn't ask him to bring his guitar, but I mentioned it like, hey, if you want to bring your guitar, and he ended up not bringing it. But we did talk about a future week when we got a tough time getting somebody to come on or if somebody cancels. We're going to see how these mics work with music. So for a later date, we're going to have old Mo on to bring his guitar on and sing. And I think we're going to have a couple more musical guests on. So like when Heather and Lauren, Honey and Houston come on, I'm going to ask them if they'll bless us with some of their harmonizing. I do have, I think I've said it a couple times, but a few people that I've talked to about coming on soon. The number one that I'm looking for, and you'll appreciate this, is Marty Donald.
Oh God, what
Talk
a
about
gem!
legends in Northern Kentucky.
What a gem!
That guy's a legend. But,
And you know what? When we first got started, he introduced me as a special guest. Sincerely, Marty Donlan is a very special little human being that we've known since he was a kid, coming to our house and playing ball in the backyard. Truly a special young man.
Yeah,
and competes in Special Olympics.
and he's one of those guys that he's never changed. He's the same genuine soul that he was when we were running around the backyard playing basketball in high school and before then even.
Yeah, God bless him.
What's up, Pete? Good, brother. Yeah, so we have Marty coming up. That's probably going to be 1st of July. He's got to get off work, and we got a couple vacations coming up. So actually, the next 2 weeks, it's going to be pre-recorded. We got one recorded right now, and I've got one of like a cooking video I made on my own that I'm going to see if I can get that ready in time to release it on the 2 weeks that we're going on vacation. So we got that coming up. We talked about Timmy Sullivan, so him and Andrea, his wife Andrea, are coming on.
That'll be interesting.
They're going to come on together. I was like, I'd like to have you both separate, but I'd like to have you both at the same time too. But there's no wrong answer there.
They'll complement each other.
Yeah, and then I'm sure you've heard about the big concert coming up in Independence, where it's Clint Black and what's the girl's name that's from Taylor Mill?
Oh,
It's the Heart, I Heart, or it's the Heart of Country Music
Carly
Festival. Carly Pierce.
She's
going to be there. Look up the Heart of Country Music Festival. It's all over the place. If you're on Facebook or anything, you'll
Speaking
know
of
it is.
music,
But
I've been
there's
waiting.
a few artists on there that are like, holy shit, I can't believe they're coming to Independence. Clint Black was one of them. I think he's one of the main headliners.
Well, and speaking of music, I've been waiting for Carly Pierce to call me to play guitar and do a duet with her, but I haven't heard anything, so I guess we ain't going to make it happen.
Here, wait. You need another one. Starting to make sense. When he starts making sense, just give him another beer.
Yeah, so she's going to find out that if she's not going to ring me up.
Jody Messina's going to be there too? That's a Kentucky.
Oh.
The night that Carly Pierce is here.
So give me a list of a few of them. Can you hear? Can you hear you talk? Can you hear you talking to Mike? You want me to do it?
So Friday is Clint Black, Jody Messina, Little Texas, and John Morgan. And then Saturday is Justin Moore, Carly Pierce. Oh, Shenandoah is going to be here too.
Shenandoah. Yeah.
Cole Goodman and Derek Allen.
So the reason I bring that up is because Derek Allen and John Morgan, two local guys that have been playing for a long time now, they're going to come on the show. I think June 30th is the date that we have them scheduled to come on and talk about the concert and bring up the history and all that stuff of our history and their history and
the ticket prices increase June 7th.
June 7th
is when they increase.
Okay, so if you want tickets to that, go get your tickets.
I know.
It's Sunday.
Yeah, that's this
yeah,
week.
that's on Sunday. That's this week.
Now. You're good. They increase.
But you can also become a sponsor, vendor, or get media passes. So just know that.
So that'll be a fun one when they come on. Have you met Derek?
Yeah, but it was kind of like one of those, you introduced me. It's like,
and passing.
Derek, this is my dad, Mo, and we shook hands.
Yeah.
If he walked in right now.
So I got a funny story with Derek. When Robbie used to have his Robberama down at the farm, Dry Ridge, down in Golds Valley, he would always bring in a couple flatbeds from work, and that would be the stage for the night. And we'd set up. And
I remember that.
I took my PA and my big old concert speakers, EV concert speakers, which I still have, and they still work for some reason. But Derek was just kind of getting started, and he was playing in the barn and stuff, but he was just acoustic. So he played. Thank you. He was playing his guitar up there, but we didn't have him like no electric guitar or nothing. So I basically just had to hold the mic, and it was a all weekend get down shindig. I've been drinking a long time at that point at that day, and I remember just trying to hold steady so that I kept on hitting him when he was singing. So I'll bring that up when he was on, but that was like the first time I ever met Derek. I couldn't stand straight up enough or be steady enough with the mic to where I could hold it for him, and I kept on hitting him when he was singing. So sorry.
That's when we had the old Hank Williams Jr. pig in the ground deal.
Mm-hmm.
We dug a big pit and put the hog in the ground and cooked it. And
yep,
I thought your sister was going to fall in the damn pit.
Nobody did, thank God. We made the pit probably 5 times bigger than it needed to be.
But yeah, that's some good times down there, and that'll be a really interesting conversation with Derek for you guys to kind of go from where you've been to where you are. And
I've never met John Morgan, but I've seen him play a couple times, and they're both awesome. They're both great performers. But so every week we do a Food for Thought Tuesday quote. I think we'll go ahead and knock that out. It's right here behind me, so I'm gonna turn around and read it. I try to do something that's obviously correlated with the guest, so we'll see how this one goes. Take the mic with me. The father who does not teach his son his duties is equally guilty with the son who neglects them. And that is a quote from Confucius. And the reason I said that, it doesn't really pertain to me and you as far as
why not?
It's the opposite.
Why not?
What it warns about is the opposite of what it says. It says if you neglect it, then your son will also neglect it. You didn't neglect it. You stood up. You had the responsibility. You raised me the right way, and you were the good example of that.
Yeah.
But the reason I chose that is because it was Confucius. What is your favorite Confucius quote?
This is from Confucius too, and he was an amazingly intelligent person.
Yeah.
Confucius said, "He who go to bed with stinky." He who go to bed with itchy butt, wake up with stinky fingers.
That was Confucius.
That was Confucius.
Yeah.
He also said,
I mean, he had a sense of humor too, obviously.
Yeah, never mind. We'll let Confucius lie in peace.
So one of our favorite things to do when we get around, and we've had so many amazing nights just hanging out, drinking beer, playing music, singing music. But one of our favorite things to do when we're not doing that stuff is we always give off like our top threes. Our top fives. Who's the greatest? Who's this? Who's this? And I feel like our lists have always changed, and it's always like a what kind of mood am I in today type of thing. So I wanted to bring up a couple of the hot top threes that we always talk about. I want to start off with basketball, with that being our number one passion and our number one love, first love, and all that. So top 3 basketball players, and it could, like I said, it could change tomorrow. and not necessarily who you think is the best, but your favorite top three.
That's again, it's always changing, but there are a couple that just don't change. For me, one of the great, and it's just basketball, but for me, one of the greatest basketball players and human beings was the great Bill Russell. The guy's got 13 NBA championships. He's got like 10 MVP awards from the NBA, but he was also a great humanitarian and very involved with the civil rights movement, and a great story about Bill Russell, just one of my favorites. But back in the day, segregation was incredible. It's almost like nuts to think of it. But the Boston Celtics,
And it wasn't even that long ago, really.
no, this is back in the 60s, though, early 60s. The Celtics were invited to come to Lexington to play at Memorial Coliseum, home of the UK Wildcats at the time.
Where the girls play now?
Yeah, for an NBA game. Well, when they got there, if you can imagine this, it's even though I lived it, it's still hard to imagine it happened. They would not allow the black players to eat in the restaurants or stay in the same hotels as the white players or white people. Bill Russell stood up and told Red Auerbach, who was another amazing human being, said, "Coach, we're not playing. We're not. This ain't right." And Red Auerbach said, "I agree with you 100%. Let's get on the bus and we're getting the hell out of here." And I thought, I almost get goosebumps. I got goosebumps because that took some balls back in those days,
Yeah.
to say, "Hey, screw y'all. We don't need you." But it sent the message that, hey, things have got to change. You can't have drinking fountains designated. So Bill Russell will always be. That's one that's going to be constant for me. And it goes beyond the basketball, which, again, to me, one of the greatest players.
That's 100% fair because this is your favorite, not who you think is the best.
Yeah. The other two, it has changed over the years. At one time, it was Oscar Robertson. I would have to say that Larry Bird kind of took over, only because of, we talked earlier in our conversation about competitiveness and maybe not being the fastest or the jumping the highest.
Larry Bird's the epitome of that.
Larry Bird is the epitome of hustle, determination, and competitiveness.
He's a Pete Rose of basketball.
He
Is
is
that fair?
yeah, that is fair. And that guy, he was an inspiration to watch play.
I still watch clips of him sitting in the garage on
Yeah.
YouTube.
Pretty,
So is Oscar your other one that you mentioned, or you replaced Oscar with Larry?
I replaced Oscar, and again, it's different eras, so it's
Yeah.
a different game.
That's why I don't. It shouldn't be about who you think is the best. Who's your favorite?
Yeah, things have changed, and then I got to go with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, kind of for the same reasons as Bill Russell, but he was an inspiration, and he was a competitor. I mean, he's one of the few guys that squared up with Larry Bird and got in a fist fight, and then after the game, Magic Johnson made the comment. He said, "You know what? As soon as we started fighting the Boston Celtics, I knew that we were going to lose." He said, "Because we don't have fighters." And Larry Bird was a fighter.
Yeah.
But those would be my top three.
The Lakers came back and got him the next few years. I think
They
after
did. They did.
that.
Well, okay. So wait, what about your top three?
My top three is
Okay.
what? Well,
I know Jordan's going to be up
I'm
there.
surprised you didn't say Jordan but it's not your personal favorite, and that's why I wanted to do it because I figured we would have three totally different players.
And I got nothing bad to say about Jordan, but go ahead. I know he's your
Yeah,
favorite.
Jordan's obviously number one. Greatest ever, all you LeBron fans out there, get out here. Jordan number one, Kobe number two. And then because it's people who we like and not necessarily who we think is the greatest ever, my number three was my Michael Jordan before Michael Jordan. Who did I love before Michael Jordan?
Julius?
Yeah, Dr. J.
Can't go wrong there.
He was my Michael Jordan before Michael Jordan became Michael Jordan.
He was a lot of our Michael Jordans before Larry Bird or Michael Jordan, but yeah.
All right, so on to the next category. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and Dr. J, Julius Erving. And that's about the same time when Jordan came along that Barkley came along. And I love Barkley a lot too because I like Dr. J, and he was on the same team, and I was having a fight with myself over who was, man, Michael. I like Michael a lot, but Jay's on this side. You got Charles over there.
Moses Malone.
Moses Malone. Yeah, they had a. I don't know if
Andrew
they've had.
Tony.
I don't know if they've had a squad that good since.
No,
The AI years had some good teams, but I don't think it was a squad like that.
no, they were amazing. And yeah, and when you do this, you could bring on other guests when you bring in Sullivan or, whoever. You can't. It's not like we're doing it for a debate. Like, oh, why do you say him? My guy's better.
Yeah.
These guys were also doggone good.
Well, and I've always talked down on LeBron. He's definitely one of the greatest that's ever played.
No doubt.
And the way I thought of a good way to think about it is it's like looking at horses. Michael Jordan is a thoroughbred, and I think LeBron is more of a Clydesdale. It's like, all right, what kind of horse you like better, thoroughbreds or Clydesdales? They're both amazing. They're both. I would prefer a thoroughbred over a Clydesdale myself.
Joe's really good at analogies. He can make these things. Well, is he a Clydesdale or is he a thoroughbred? Is he a jackass or a mule?
I'm the jackass.
And I'm the mule.
All right, so on to country. It can be bands or solo. Most of them are solo singers, but country music, top 3.
Number 1, Hank Williams Sr. A pioneer, but not just a singer.
Train! Holler and Swaller! We used to hate the train. Now I love the train.
Joe, I've seen absolutely nobody over there where Marie is.
They're being responsible.
Still a holler and swaller's a holler and swaller,
See you, Ron.
Bye, Ron.
So country, top 3. You got
Top 3.
Williams Senior.
Hank Williams Sr., Waylon Jennings, Merle Haggard. And that's not easy. It's hard. That's harder for me to limit than basketball.
Yeah, I agree. And the only one I can go so many different ways with it, but the only one I'm going to say the same as you because he's my number 1 favorite all time is Waylon. So I have to say Waylon as well, but I'll add George Jones, probably the greatest voice in country music. And then I'm going to throw one out there. It may be acceptable, may not be acceptable, but you say the pioneer. I think this guy pioneered for Hank Williams Sr., Jimmy Rogers. Yeah, I don't think a whole lot of people talk about him, but the amount of country music that has come from that guy.
Yeah, and he kind of kick-started that thought process of the singing about those times. And
He had the yodel going on.
yeah, I mean, you can't hardly, even today, you have guys singing songs basically honoring the great Jimmy Rogers.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't go
And a
wrong.
lot
Now, I've never guessed that. I knew there was going to be Waylon.
I had to throw a curveball in there just because and it made me think of it when you said Hank Williams Sr. being a pioneer, and it just threw me into that thought process of, man, Jimmy Rogers is probably responsible for it all. Like, he was probably the start of it all as far as being like the first American like folk hero that was in music.
I'll tell you what, though,
I can still listen to it. I still love listening to Jimmy Rogers.
I do too.
It's such a distinctive sound.
I do too. And we both enjoy a wide variety of music. I mean, it's not like it's all country or classic country or. I think we both have an appreciation for a wide variety. I mean, I still like the blues and listen to a lot of the blues and with a lot of heavy harmonica and so that's all fun. But one that so we talked about our top 3 country singers, whatever. Tell me your number one top performer from country. Performer, not necessarily just somebody. I mean, Alan Jackson was a great
The problem
writer
is I
and
didn't see a whole lot, and my initial thought goes straight to somebody that I'm not a huge fan of. But as far as being a performer and based on my limited experience of seeing performers, I haven't seen a whole lot of live country. But I gotta say Garth Brooks just because he's the only guy that took it to a level that I've never seen before. I'm not
holler and swallow for Garth.
and
Brooks.
I'm not a huge Garth fan. His music is phenomenal. But I don't know,
I'm a
it's
huge
kind of like a
Garth
LeBron
fan.
thing. It's like there's something like a bad taste in my mouth, and I don't know what the hell it is.
Oh, I think he is incredible. I think the energy that he brought to the stage in his concert is
There's
right
no
up there.
denying that.
Yeah, is right up there with he is to country music what Bruce Springsteen was to rock.
Yeah, we had to leave Bruce Springsteen
Bruce-
alone here lately.
Yeah, we're not dealing with
He's going cuckoo.
him and Bob Dylan and that whole bunch. I
still have their music still plays on my playlist that I have. Especially Bob Dylan, like that guy. You talk about a folk hero. He's the definition of folk hero.
and a writer. I mean, he put stuff together. The one thing I'll say about Dylan, he's not quite as vocal as Springsteen. And I like Springsteen's music. At one time, I was a huge Springsteen fan, but as time passes, he's letting his mouth outperform his music.
Yeah, I feel like some people have a tough time letting go of the limelight, and they have to try to find reasons to get back in it or to stay in it. Or I don't know what's going on, man. I can't explain to other people. All I know is that I'm happy here in Kentucky, and there's a lot of nonsense going on in the world, and I just try to stay out of it. I don't want to. I kind of look at it from a distance, and I can kind of judge here and there, and I put my opinion out there every once in a while. But
And
for
this
the
is
most
another
part, I want to stay out of it.
And this is another thing about when you and I sit down and have a conversation. It drifts. It's like a goddamn pinball. Boom, we're over here, and bang, we're over there, and that's not what we're talking about.
That's how I live my life.
It's
That's not just conversation. That's a way of life.
yeah,
man.
we bing bang and booming all over the place.
I'm seeing squirrels all day, every day.
But yeah, I thought Garth Brooks was amazing. Your mother and I went and seen him 4 or 5 different times, and it was just electric.
You know, I had on here doing rock bands also. We don't have to name our top 3 rock bands, but the same way that you're talking about Garth, I had the same feeling the first time I ever saw Korn live. And you probably may or may not know a little bit about Korn, but it's heavier than your taste.
I'd rather eat it than listen to it.
Well, I know that. This is with a K,
I know.
but
It sounded kind of corny to me.
if that's good corny.
Yeah.
It's good corny, but I've never seen that kind of energy at a show. And I felt it all the way through my soul, like you said, goosebumps, and didn't know what was going on. You just knew you liked the type of thing. I've never seen energy like that. And I've seen them probably 5 or 6 times because that first time it's like a drug. It's like, man, I just got to, if they're anywhere around, I got to go see Korn. And the show is just.
That one surprises me because I knew that they were big back in your growing up years, but I've never ever heard you mention Korn.
I know you don't like them, so
I don't dislike them. I couldn't name one song.
I bet I don't even know if I hope they're still doing shows. If they are, you got to let me take it. Because I bet it would put Garth Brooks on a lower pedestal.
Well, you know what? Let me know when it is, but I'm pretty sure the day that you want to go see Korn, I've got to give the Goldfish a bath.
Huh. Goldfish? You never even let me have a goldfish when I was a kid. What the hell? You got goldfish now I moved out? That's bullshit, man.
Do you remember? I don't know if it was you or if it was Michelle and Amy, but we would always go to these festivals, and you guys would do the ring toss or something and come home with a goldfish.
Yeah.
And then the
All
next
of us.
morning, the damn thing's floating in the thing, and it's done.
Yeah.
And so I'd flush it down the toilet, and you guys, oh my God, you just flushed my fish down the toilet.
Yeah, and there was one festival that I won a rabbit.
Oh, I remember that thing.
And I think it was the St. Paul Festival, and I brought a rabbit home, and Yeah.
When it's a European tour.
Well, I guess we got to go to Europe.
Let's go.
You pay for the plane ticket, I'm in.
There's a lot of Germany.
That's unfortunate. Come back to Cincinnati.
There is one in Italy.
Well, we can go see our extended family in Italy and catch corn while we're there.
Let me think about it for a second.
That was a squirrel. I forgot what I was on.
Oh, you got
I know,
a rabbit.
the rabbit.
You
Yeah.
brought the rabbit back home, and guess what?
So here I am with a rabbit from a festival, and I'm about ready to cry because I want to keep the rabbit. So I got my mom on my side because I'm about to cry. You know, Mom, come on, get a Blake rabbit. And on the flip side, you got him who's got 3 or 4 beagles out here that are raised to run rabbits around. He's like, wait a minute, how the hell are we gonna have? And I thought for sure it was gonna get squashed. Like, I am not gonna have this damn rabbit. There's no way in hell. I gave it my best, and my mom, I think, was like, just let him have the rabbit. It won't be around for a little bit anyway. Ended up having that thing for a couple months at least, and then that was a bad idea.
That was a bad idea. Yeah.
Like,
That was
who
like when-
has a pet rabbit when they got rabbit dogs 20 yards from them?
Yeah, did they end up skinning it for you?
No, I think
One of the kids had a rabbit. And
I actually don't recall what happened to it.
I think the dog skinned it.
I have no idea. Well, it's funny because Paisley, my 5-year-old, she just like maybe 3 weeks ago was like, "Dad, can we get a rabbit?" It's a bad idea. We got a German Shepherd and we got a red fox lab. It's a bad idea. So the red fox lab, that thing was born to hunt.
There's no doubt about it.
With that ball that I got, I'll throw it in areas that I know he ain't gonna be able to find it for a while. He won't quit on it. He won't quit on the ball until he finds it.
So the breeder of
Maybe
that
3
dog,
days later, he's still looking for it.
the breeder of that dog, regularly, every time I talk to him, he's like, "Mo, you got to get that dog back. You got to hunt it. You got to train it." I'm like, even if you don't keep it, when you go dove hunting or something, you need to take that dog. I said, "Dude, you don't understand. If I take that dog, Marie's going to shoot me."
She wouldn't.
No, she wouldn't.
It's not a puppy anymore, so it's not like she deprives the dog, but it's not as important anymore as it was. She would have a few too many to drink, and then she would start missing her little puppy, and she'd start crying. Like, you know how you get drunk and cry when you're first starting to drink and learning how to control your emotions when you got it going on? She'd bawl. Be like, "What's wrong? I miss my puppy." Here.
But he just grew up.
Yeah.
He was still there.
Oh, yeah.
She just quit drinking.
Yeah. She's learning. Takes a while. I'm still learning too. Hey, is it all gone? Is it all gone? Huh? Working Mac. All right. I guess we sold out tonight. Got a little bit of chicken left.
That's all good.
Yeah, we need to have another hootenanny. I saw Jenna at Andrea's thing, and every time I see her, she reminds me of the hootenanny because she's
There's
such a
another
big fan of it.
Very special human being.
Well, we told Andrea that we got to get her up here with a helmet on.
Yeah, she's an amazing person.
So looking back on the entire upbringing of your family, it spans. So Michelle is 5 years older than me, I believe.
Yeah.
And then Andrea is 10 years younger than me. So you got 15 years from your first to your last. I also have 15 years between my first and my last, but I don't have the two in between.
Nothing in between.
Like you did.
Yeah.
So looking back from all of those memories, is there like a chunk of time that was your favorite as far as when we were a certain age? And then like, is there a frame in time that was your favorite?
So I'm going to revert back
And
to our
being
very beginning of our conversation
You can't pick
about an
favorites.
hour ago. There's no favorites. My whole time, that entire 15-year span was amazing, and that's my favorite.
I thought you were gonna say, because when I asked that question, I was like, well, he's gonna give the politically correct answer and say, of course, when Andrea came along, because that completed our family, and she could be included on that. Of course, you weren't going to be like, yeah, it was when Michelle was born and you other fuckers weren't here yet. That was my favorite time. I knew you weren't going to say that.
No. And quite honestly, I mean, I'm not trying to be politically correct. Those raising you kids is my greatest accomplishment and gives me the most pride throughout all of those years. I mean, there wasn't any segment in there that I was kind of like, this was more special than the other one. 100% truly and sincerely, being a dad and a husband was amazing. And I took great pride in coaching. So as a father, the father who does not teach his son or daughter, I took great pride in trying to be a great teacher and a great leader and to set the tone for you guys to have a foundation to build upon, to pass it on to your children. So
and I can let all the people out there that are watching know that it certainly wasn't an easy ride. It got a little bit easier once Andrea came along. You guys were a little bit more settled and got caught up on stuff. But when we were coming up, I mean, it was a strap. I mean, we were strapped constantly all year round. So it was a rough ride. It's not like we were ever deprived of anything, but I think it made us appreciate things more because we didn't have all the glitz and glamour of a lot of the more fortunate kids, I guess.
Yeah.
So I think maybe we saw stuff a little differently because we went through a little bit more struggle, but it wasn't bad. It was all like a perfect upbringing. I wouldn't change my childhood for anything because it made us see the important stuff. We didn't have the stuff that kids nowadays maybe think is important, which is all material bullshit.
Yeah. And I think that those challenges throughout your life, whatever stage you're in, those challenges are what give you strength and direction. And we don't want to get too damn philosophical here. I mean,
we can do whatever we want,
but
it's Lucky Kentucky Live, baby.
But I honestly
I'm
believe,
McKenzie.
But I honestly believe that challenges and all young people today in today's world, young people are challenged. It's hard to get by. I mean, take care of the kids, get them to this, do that. And it's a challenge.
Yeah. It's definitely gotten busier.
No doubt.
And more expensive. All of that.
So
but yeah. The appreciation, and I think that song Bluegrass Boy that I did.
Yeah.
Where I framed it from the upstairs of the Cape Cod house that used to live in today, that I grew up in. And I like that song is a perfect depiction of my life and my like kind of my view into it, how I portray it. But
that's funny and strictly coincidence. But today I'm goofing around on a computer, and it's hard for me to figure out. I don't Facebook, but somehow or another I found a page of yours, and it was your music. And the picture that came up was the one of you sitting upstairs looking out the window. And now all of a sudden you're talking about that. But that's what I was looking at.
Yeah.
It's kind of like,
I think the last verse of that song might be my favorite verse of any song I've done. The way the story kind of culminates in that verse. And then I sent that song away to the guy in Nashville. Derek Allen actually put me on to him with the fiddle player.
Yeah, I remember that.
Down there. And the fiddle just makes that song. When that fiddle comes in, it's basically a story when I had my oldest daughter. And I was telling a story in a song about how I had stuff moving. And then next thing you know, you got a kid along the way. And that's when the fiddle comes in. And the fiddle ends the song too. And that last verse, I hope you all go check it out, Bluegrass Boy. But stick with it to the last verse. That last verse is probably my favorite verse on any song I've done.
Yeah, y'all need to, if you get an opportunity, you need to listen to that. Joe's got some amazing stuff out there. That is one of those that, and he's got one just, I guess the most recent one was a tribute to his mother.
Mama's memory.
That is very touching also. And
Honey in Houston.
If you get a chance, you need to check it out. And it just doesn't apply just to Linda, I think all of you, if you lose somebody, you can feel it personalized in the way you look at things and your loss.
Yeah, and but oh, you play a whole song at the end once we put it up. Not the live. So Dusty's informing, and we can put that song at the end of this podcast when we upload it. Not on the live version tonight, but when we upload it. Hell yeah, we're learning.
So speaking of music and stuff, whenever we get back together and I'm going to put together some music, I just want to tell everybody out there that I hope you're not bored with my music. I do mostly like ballads and love songs and folk music, very kind of low key and mellow. So that's what you got to look forward to when Coach Mo gets a picking and a grinning.
You're gonna sing SOB with Daniel Radcliffe.
Hell yeah.
You're gonna do
Rodeo song?
the rodeo song.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Those are the first two to pop up. And then what's the song that you always do like the same beat when I freestyle? You call it free. What do you call it? Free fall.
Free fall.
Hey Joe, get up here and free fall. You mean freestyle, Dad? Yeah.
Gloria.
Gloria, yeah. GLORI.
Hey, while we're picking and a grinning,
You need one?
give me another one of them grinning things.
See, you told me just to bring in one.
I do.
Glad I brought your whole cooler and not just the one.
No shit.
And I have so many great memories as a kid growing up that it's one of those things that when you try to think about memories, it's hard to bring them up because you're trying too hard. But every once in a while, I'll just be going through something. I don't know if I'll smell something, see something, hear something, and I'll just kick a memory in. I'll be like, man, I had it so good at Mom's celebration at life. All the different people that came up to me were people from the past.
Yeah.
Your friends, her friends, just so many people and so many faces that brought back so many memories as soon as I saw them. It's like, man, what did I do to earn such a blessed life? You know, I didn't do anything right, but I'm just that blessed.
Well, you're wrong. Good things happen to good people. I mean, there's a reason that things work out the way they do, and some of it's just the fate, but some of it you determine your own future. And
Sure. And accountability is
Accountability.
lacking these days.
so one of your all-time favorites, George Jones,
Yeah.
one of
Choices.
the favorite songs that he'd ever did with him was goes something to the effect of
You're gonna have to learn how to play that one now.
yeah, I got to remember what the hell it is before I learn to play it.
It's not choices. I thought you were gonna talk about choices.
Yeah,
choices.
the choices I make.
Yeah. Living and
Living
dying,
and dying by the choices I make.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you place
Hey, Grandma Debbie.
if you place that on somebody else and that's not being accountable and you're using excuses and stuff like that, everything in your life is to some extent controlled by you.
Yeah,
There's certainly unfortunate things that happen to people that you can't control, but when you control the controllables, you can make a lot happen that maybe you didn't think was possible before.
well, you know, some of that stuff. I mean, you say unfortunate. Throughout the course of a lifetime, things happen. You're not grandfathered in to have this great big party all the time. I mean, you're going to have adversity, and you're going to get over it. The sun's going to come back out.
Embrace the suck.
Yeah. So, and again, challenges, adversity, I truly believe, develop character and positive attitude.
100%. I don't know if anybody would argue with that. I've had my fair share and continue to go through it, and I've gotten to the point where I'm like, what is it next? Come on.
Well, me too.
Let's
I
do
mean,
it.
how disappointing and horrible you feel when you keep calling Carly Pearson, hoping that you can get on the show up there, and she friggin' never. And I almost said a bad word, but
You want me to
and she never calls me. I mean, I'm like,
you want,
God bless.
you want me to text her and tell her to holler at you?
Not holler. I've been hollered at enough. But no, it's all so much fun. And growing up, as much as athletics.
Here we go. That's the second train. We can handle it. That's only 2 in an hour. That's not too bad.
That's normally what it is. Normally it's at the beginning.
I feel like last week, was that last week or?
Oh man, last week or the week
Full
before, man, we got hammered.
Yeah. They just kept on rolling through.
It's like 5 during that hour.
Yeah.
Oh, was I not here?
That might have been the week you weren't here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was round.
Because I say I write down the content training every.
Well, to cover a couple of guests that we've had on in the past, Andy Schneider was our first episode. He's got his Running Lines charter. He got a bunch of hats made, and I texted him today because I told him like 2 weeks ago. I'm like, dude, I want a hat. And so I picked out the one I wanted. You want one too? Andy, if you're watching, put a couple other ones to the side too. But I called him today. I was like, man, I want to get your hat up here and display it and bring it up so that we can try to bring in some business. So he's running a fishing charter now, but he knows he's not going to be able to just jump into a business. So he's taken his boat that he bought for his fishing charter, and he's also offering like Friday nights for the fireworks at the Reds, or just to go out on the river and take a cruise or go catfishing on the river. So you can call Andy up, and Running Lines Charter is
Is
the
this
name of
Kevin
the business.
Schneider's son?
Yeah, this is Andy and Kurt that I went to St. Paul with.
Oh,
No,
okay.
you're thinking of
But his name was Andy,
different
right?
Schneider. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
but these are the twins that went to St. Paul a year ahead of me, and they were good athletes. Went to Ryle. But anybody that we have on, we're going to continue to try to push their whatever they got going on, business, fundraiser. We're going to try to expand our wings and help as many people out that are trying to turn around and help the community out. And I think that my want and need to do that came from being raised right. And I got you and Mom to thank for that.
Well, and the networking.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
You were always big on teaching me networking. Like,
networking is
treat people right, because you never know when it's going to come back and
Yeah.
bite you in the butt or help you out later on.
Yeah, build those relationships, because you scratch their back, they'll scratch yours. And when you were getting ready to leave Seligman to start this business, I was like, hey, take the shot. You're open, take it. If you miss it, who cares? But take the shot. Just don't burn the bridge behind you. You still want them as an ally.
Yeah,
You still want Seligman and those folks to support you.
and they are.
And they are.
I'm very blessed to have been able to work there. I loved working there. It was just time to go.
No doubt. No doubt. Change is good, inevitable.
And get used to it, because nothing stays the same.
Yeah.
Whether you make the change or you just adapt to it as it happens, that comes down to the accountability thing too. You can affect the change in your life instead of just changing when things change in your life. But yeah, we're getting all philosophical again.
Yeah, that's what I say. So I'm going to change the subject here.
All right, it's your podcast. You go.
Let's
I don't know what the hell I'm doing. You do it.
I want to ask you, when we come to comedy, we both have a huge appreciation for laughter. If you had to pick out just one comedy routine or group or whatever that sticks out in your mind, whether it's current or going back to your youth, who did you enjoy watching the shit out of that made you laugh?
Well, when you first started that, I thought you were gonna do like favorite stand up comedy, and I think Chappelle's the best that's ever done that. He's a genius.
Who?
But then Dave Chappelle. But that's just stand up. But you're
Okay.
talking about
No,
comedy in
any
general,
comedy.
and then
whatever.
when you brought up the history of, like, even when you were a kid or whatever, that counts. Any kind of comedy, I'm like, okay, well, my mind automatically goes to Three Stooges, because you love the Three Stooges so much.
Love the
And I have
Stooges.
so much history of watching the Stooges with you. But I think my all-time favorite has got to be the Marx Brothers, and specifically Animal Crackers, because we had that. You showed that movie to me, and we hit it on a VHS tape,
Yeah.
and I played that thing. I can't believe the tape didn't get worn out. I watched it so many times, and it's funny because I just watched it the other night for the first time in probably 20 years in my garage. And you talk about nostalgia. I felt like I was a kid again watching that.
And it does make you young.
It
I mean,
does.
it makes you feel like a little kid. And
So
it makes you do stupid shit like, I'm the victim of circumstance. I mean,
well, everybody knows that the Three Stooges. I don't know how many people out there listening would know, my age and younger, would know who the Marx Brothers are. because they were back in what, the 20s? Is it earlier than that?
Later.
Late 1930s,
Yeah. 30s, 40s.
30s, 40s, and then the Stooges were more like 50s, 60s.
Yeah.
But
they're
yeah,
just so-
the Marx Brothers. If you look up, it's on YouTube. It's free if you gotta go to the YouTube account. Marx Brothers Animal Crackers. That's probably my favorite.
Yeah.
Comedy act. And you can talk about Abbott and Costello and
Well, there's just a whole bunch of them. And if you talk about individuals, I mean, the Stooges was my favorite group, and they, like the Marx Brothers, they had a long list of shows or films or whatever, shorts.
yeah.
But some of the individual comedians, Tim Conway, what a nut.
What was the country guy that sang funny songs way back in the day? You and Randy used to listen to it all the time, but he'd sing funny ass songs. Is it Kennington?
No, Jim, not Reeves.
I know who you're talking about because I used to listen to it all the time, and I can never
Is it
remember.
He's
Bobby Bear?
No,
Bobby Bear's pretty
he's
good,
the
too.
one that sang "Don't Look Ethel."
Yeah, don't look, Ethel. Too late.
Rodney.
No,
Done been moon. Look up, just Google, or whatever your search app is.
Is it Ray? Something?
Ray Stevens.
It is
Ray Stevens.
Ray Stevens. Yeah, she was running around the gas pumps, and I said, "Don't look, Ethel." Too late. Done been mooned.
Man, it's also good.
Yeah, a lot of.
And I remember too, like the Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra, Rat Pack folks. I had a lot of influence from that. Michael Jackson. I used to wear the leather coat and the
The white
glove
gloves, yeah.
and
He
do.
was trying to moonwalk on the carpet, and it didn't work out real good.
Got a piece of cardboard to do some breakdancing on. Hell yeah! I was probably about 6 or 7 years old or something when I was.
There's
doing
another.
that.
You mentioned Dean Martin, but Jerry Lewis. God, what a nut!
Yeah.
That guy cracked me up.
Not a guy that we're probably gonna talk about being a great person.
Who? Jerry Lewis?
Oh, I'm thinking Jerry Lee Lewis.
Oh,
Jerry Lewis is a great person.
he was. He's
Yeah.
the one that started it. Oh, well, we got 5 minutes to go. 5 seconds.
But he wants to give you a high five.
Oh,
Slap me some skin up top. Yeah, that's our 5 minutes. Didn't you already give me the 5 minute sign? Yeah. So we
10
can
minutes ago.
wrap it up whenever we want. Do you want your 5 minutes?
hey,
I mean, we'll sit here and talk for another 5 hours if you don't shut us down at
I
some
know you
point.
will.
The beer just makes it kick in even harder and harder.
and I can't believe that I've had 3 beers sitting here and didn't have to go take a piss.
I'm-
Can I say that on there?
Yeah,
PP.
Yeah,
You
you're
said-
good.
you can say whatever you want for now.
So, do you guys, when you're doing these things, is it edited?
No,
Can it be edited?
it could be, but we don't really have the time to put
Yeah.
that kind of effort into it. So maybe in due time, if it starts working out to where like it shows a promising future or something, where
Well,
it
and I
could
was
turn
just
into
thinking
something,
if you had somebody that got X-rated, all of a sudden the MFs and
well, so the live version they would be able to see. If it was that bad, then we could probably just shut it off at the live version because people are watching it live right now. Whoever wants to, it's not.
hello, I
But
love you guys.
But then the process after this is so that live version will be there and stay there until so Dusty will download it, send it to me, I'll upload it, do the description, or actually you upload it. I just go into the site, do the subscription, and then I publish it after that. But
Oh
we
my
don't do
God.
anything to the actual video.
I'm 100% completely confused.
Yeah, you don't have to understand it. You can just
Hey.
watch.
But Carly Pierce, if you're watching, pick up the phone, girl. Come
She's
on, what
definitely
you wait?
watching.
What you waiting on, baby?
Guarantee you she's watching. You know why she's watching?
She better.
Because this is Lucky Kentucky Live. And we're definitely going to have you on again so you can bring your guitar next time. This was a good introduction. And we had the most stories on previous segments of most stories on previous episodes. So there's more to come. I think we're a little over time, so we're going to get off here. But this is Lucky Kentucky Live, brought to you by Lucky Kentucky Barbecue. Call us up for your caterings, Frog Brothers Productions. Thank you, Dusty and KK, for the work that you do. We had a couple weeks off after this, so we won't be live next week or the following week. But we're going to try to have a couple videos to put up so you do have something to watch on a Tuesday. But Dad, I love you.
Love you too.
Thanks for coming on.
And they'll never forget.
I won't. You know,
You're my favorite son.
I know, Dad. I love you. You're gonna make me cry on the podcast. Here's to many more holler and swallers. Woo! Lucky Kentucky live. Over and out, baby. Thank you guys. God bless. Hi, Harlows.
What's up, buddy?
How y'all doing?
Good, how are you?
Did we run out of food before you got here?
One day will give me a call back. I got back too late. So give me a call. Love you. Bye-bye.
I see you smiling every sunset. I feel your love upon the blue. And as I sit and stare at stars now, your spirit whispers a quiet tune. It keeps pulling at my heartstrings. Mama, when I think of you, I recall your love and laughter before you tangled up in blue.
Mama, do you remember before your memory was gone? Cause mama, I remember every memory is strong. And every single memory was meant to be this song. It started back in the day when your first baby boy was born. But mama, now you're gone and your baby boy is grown. And it's tough to tell my babies we can't call you on the phone. Cause God has called you home. You grew angel wings and flown. Now we know you smiled down on the 4 seeds that you had sown. Mom, you did so good and all you did was right. And all of us are proud of how you stood your ground to fight. Despite your plight, your life was full of love with all your might. Just like the light you shone, you lived your life with such delight.
I see you smiling every sunset. I feel your love upon the moon. And as I sit and stare at stars now, your spirit whispers a quiet tune. It keeps pulling at my heartstrings. Mama, when I think of you, I recall your love and laughter before you tangled up in blue.
You, Braxton. I love you. I love you. You love me.
As I sit and reminisce about how my life with you was bliss, I cherish every hug and kiss, and every game you never missed, every ball we ever threw, every dog, every brew, every fall through summer new, or Santa Claus Tooth Fairy too. I would walk through fire if it meant to make you proud, ma. Shelly, Pooh, Amos, Boo, me, and Boo won't let you down. Forever you're the queen, and you'll never lose that crown, ma. You just misplaced your memory, in heaven it was found. You always taught me toughness and integrity, thank you please. A tender touch of roughness is displayed through your disease. But you've been raised above this, God's love will never cease. So mom, I hope you love this. I love you, rest in peace. I see you smiling every sunset. I feel your love upon the moon. And as I sit and stare at stars now, your spirit whispers a quiet tune. It keeps pulling on my heartstrings. Mama, when I think of you, I recall your love and laughter before you tangle